Hello and welcome back to another episode of the On the Sideline podcast of Jackson and Kyle. I am Jackson, and I'm joined here, as always, by the man who is a better quarterback than the Cincinnati Bengals receivers. Kyle, how are you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, that was two receiver passes, I think, in the game, right? That's what I remember.
Yeah, combined 1 for 2 with an interception and a 7-yard loss.
Yeah, that's a bold strategy, I gotta say.
Yeah, especially when you have future MVP Jake Browning on the roster.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting game. Interesting to see that kind of play out the way that it did, and huge Bengals win to kind of keep their season alive. And are you buying into the Jake Browning hype?
Well, I guess we can just jump into it. Why not? No one wants to hear us ramble before the show starts. Let's just get into it. No. I mean, I don't know. I like Jake Browning. I'm not ready to say that he's like, he had he looked well. He looked good.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly fair. I mean, he was really good in the game, I thought. He was accurate, got the ball out on time, did everything he had to do and put his team in a position to win. And I guess if you were gonna do a backup quarterback power poll, would it be Jake? Would you take Jake or a draft? Let's do a draft style. Would you take Jake Browning, Gardner Minshew, or who's the other one? Josh Dobbs? Who would you take?
I think I'm still going Minshew 1. I feel like Minshew. I feel like I've seen more from Minshew. I don't know. I guess I'll go Browning over Dobbs, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. Does Bailey Zappi crack the top 3?
No.
Okay. Well, just thought I'd check in.
Is he the starter?
What about Mitch
Trubisky? You can't be there if you're a starter.
Yeah. What about Mitch Trubisky?
Interesting. Yeah, I'll put Mitchell Trubisky too.
Yeah. Andy Dalton 1.
I guess so. Yeah, I think Andy Dalton's got to be up there. Yeah.
Anyway, I brought us on a tangent here. Jake Browning was really good in this game, though.
What if the whole show was just you asking me different backup quarterback? You just went through the list of every backup quarterback.
Tim Boyle?
That is a no. That is not. He does not make the top 3. The tough loss for the Jaguars. I mean, pretty much everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Your defense, which has been awesome this year, kind of got beat pretty badly in this game. I'm not sure if I'm going to freak out just because of one bad game. It is football. It happens, but that's disappointing. Obviously Lawrence Obviously Lawrence getting hurt sucks. I don't know if it's not that serious, which is good, but I don't know. They're now underdogs against Cleveland. Jacksonville had a chance to get the 1 seed. They really did. If Kansas City lost once more and Jacksonville won out, they would have the 1 seed. And even if they just won out in general, if they won this game, they could have gotten the 1 seed. Now that's not happening, probably, unless CJ Beathard can come in and play really well.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, they're only a game up in the division. This isn't a sure thing.
Yeah, and there's 2 teams behind them.
Yeah, 2 teams chasing them, basically, both pretty good teams as well. And yeah, I mean, I know there was a thing about, Lawrence wasn't in a walking boot today or something, which I don't really know what that means overall. But his lasting impact, it seemed like he was going to miss some time at least, though. So don't imagine him suiting up this Sunday. And this is an uphill battle. I agree. I think it's tough to see this team go through this. And, there's been a lot of quarterbacks to go down this year. And this is just another one that is really disappointing because Lawrence, I thought, had he had made it wasn't quite the leap we were hoping for, but I did think it was a mini leap from Lawrence where he was a little more reliable. He started to see more of the highs that Trevor Lawrence had. It wasn't quite the leap to superstardom that we were waiting for, but it was a mini leap that I thought was impressive. And they needed him in this. They needed him to finish this game, and they're going to need him down the stretch of the season.
Lawrence's leap was, I think, great. It's just there were sky high expectations, right? Like it's like, okay, is he
Right.
going to now rival Mahomes? And it's like, well, that was never like a fair thing to put on him. I think his leaps, I agree. I think I think it's been great. But I do think that losing him hurts a lot. I think that the Jaguars, I still think they make. Here's the good news for Jacksonville. One, Lawrence's injury isn't that serious. He'll be back for the playoffs. You're not, dead there. The other good news, well, yes, there are a couple teams trying to beat you for the division lead. You have the tiebreaker over either of them as it currently stands because you beat the Colts twice and you're 4-1 in the division. So as long as the Jaguars beat the Titans week 18, they're going to have the tiebreaker over everyone. And the last 3 games, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Tennessee, if they just win those 3 games, yes, in theory, the Colts or Texans could go 5-0, but seems unlikely. Seems like you're in a pretty good spot, even if you drop these next 2. And if you beat Cleveland, you're okay. But definitely a disappointing loss.
Yeah. Agree with everything you said. I do think this is more of an impactful loss on Jacksonville than it is for a win for Cleveland, or not Cleveland, Cincinnati. Looking ahead to next week already. Cincinnati still has some ground to make up, and I just don't know how much that's going to be replicable on offense, what they did on Monday night. So we'll see on the Bengals. Obviously, it's a big win for the step in the right direction, but there's still so many teams they have to climb over for that final playoff spot. This was a big thing for Jacksonville because I agree. They had an opportunity to leap Kansas City in this one and put themselves right on the mark with Baltimore and Miami going into the final stretch of the season for the 1 seed. And that's a tough break.
Yeah, I still as good as Cincinnati looked. I don't know. I think that I still don't think they're doing. I think they had an uphill battle with Joe Burrow out there. Unless Jake Browning is better, I think that it's going to be tough. I think their season is still dead, but at least impressive win to build off of for next year.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'm not counting them out just yet, just because I don't know, we're gonna have Mitch Trubisky start theoretically at least 1 game.
Yeah.
It's Joe Flacco in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a lot of the highs for Gardner Minshew. There's certainly a lot of lows for Gardner Minshew for why he's not a starter in the NFL. It's not crazy for me to see some of these teams kind of, have the floor drop from under them that are ahead of them. And, if they play well enough. But yeah, I mean, it's still an uphill battle. I agree.
If you're in the building, you're still talking about playoffs, but we'll see. We'll see. I guess you can't fully count them out. Let's move on. Why don't we, Kyle? I don't have the score on up, but Kyle, a great week for me, a bad week for you, as it was almost a perfect. Actually, I missed 2 games, but it was almost a really great week. I picked the Jaguars, so that was unfortunate, but only a 2-point lead all of a sudden. You had this big cushion. The cushion's gone. We have a barn burner here in the Pick'em show.
Yeah, it was only 3 points. We're still okay. Have the advantage here. I feel like I still got I got a good week here ahead of me. I feel it. I can feel it.
It's Zay Flowers. If Zay Flowers just slid instead of getting that touchdown, you wouldn't have covered. You wouldn't have hit your lock, and I'd be winning right now.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But that's football sometimes, right?
That is football. That is the Pick'em show. But the bright side is I get to give you a game, and I am glad I do not have to pick the Colts Bengals. Kyle, 2 teams fighting for the playoffs, as we just mentioned. Where are you going?
Yeah, this was number 1 on my list as well. I get everything you're coming from here. This is a good pick. I am going to ride with. Oh my gosh, I had 1 team down, but now I don't know if I want to actually do that.
You want to talk it out for a second?
Yeah, I'll talk it out. So
Okay.
Here's my worries. I don't think Cincinnati's going to do what they did offensively this week. I think the Colts are going to be better prepared mentally. I think that they are also, the EPA wise are pretty on par with Jacksonville. I think they're an equally good coverage unit. And I just don't think Joe Mixon is going to go ballistic in this game either. So, I'm leaning Indianapolis because of that. I think the defense is good enough to win this game. And, I still trust Gardner Minshew more than Jake Browning. I just do. I know he's got better receivers for Cincinnati, but that's kind of my thought process right now for picking the Colts.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I just think Jake Browning's a wild card. I do, and I do think that Gardner Minshew is also a wild card, right? It's not like Gardner Minshew is just a constant, consistent player every week. I don't know. I'm fascinated by this team. I also think the Bengals defense hasn't looked as good these past couple of weeks. So maybe there's an opportunity for the Colts to move the ball a little bit in this one. I'm just fascinated in this Jake Browning thing. I think, sometimes it's simple. It's how does the quarterback play that we have no idea how well they can play. I don't know. Jaguars defense have looked great. And Zach Taylor, his sort of play actions and things were working really well. Well, I agree. It seems like Colts should pay attention to that. It's not like the Colts linebacking play has been great this season. So there's maybe some room to attack that.
Yeah, obviously, the highly publicized Shaq Leonard. What is it? Shaquille Leonard.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
can
his
call him
name?
Shaq
Yeah,
Leonard. That's fine.
yeah. Shaq Leonard release was a big deal. I don't really know how to evaluate that one. I would say I don't think it was that extreme of a thing, but I do agree. Both of these teams are kind of lower tier run defenses statistically this season. And I mean, that's pretty surprising for the Bengals given their personnel. And so, both of these teams have running backs that can run the ball well. I know Jonathan Taylor's probably not going to play in this game, but Zach Moss has proven plenty capable as well. So it just comes down to limiting mistakes. And I just, right now, I'm going to say I trust Gardner Minshew to limit mistakes more.
Give me a percentage on how confident you are.
53.
Okay, 53. Yeah, that feels about right. Yeah, it seems like a game could go either way. And for Colts, big one, trying to make the playoffs. Let's move on, why don't we? Give me a game.
You know what I hate?
What's that?
The NFC South.
That
Don't
makes
like
one of
this.
us.
Don't want to watch this. Don't want to pick it, definitely. Bucks at Falcons.
You don't even want to watch it? There's at least stakes going on here.
There are stakes, and that's probably why I'm going to have to watch, but I'm going to angrily watch this.
Okay. Well, I will probably angrily watch it as well because I'm picking the Falcons to win this one. They beat the Buccaneers last time despite 3 turnovers in the red zone. It's not a done deal. This game could go either way. Talk about limiting mistakes. I mean, this feels like whoever wins the turnover battle wins the game, although that didn't happen last time. I'm fascinated by this. Bijan Robinson had that weird sickness thing happen last time. So what's going on there with I mean, not what's going on there, but when he's going to be here this time. So Bijan versus the Buccaneers run defense, which has certainly had its moments this season. How's that going to go? Also, I mean, there's nothing around it. I mean, this Buccaneers secondary just hasn't been playing well the second half of the year at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's largely due to the injuries. I think that, how healthy is Tampa Bay? That's going to be a big question, but I don't know. Atlanta won in Tampa Bay. I feel like, the Falcons know how to play the Buccaneers offense. I don't see why this is going to change this time, but I hope it does.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I think it's going to come down to if Desmond Ridder can stand in the pocket and make throws and not have to be rushed, I think Atlanta can win this game. But, Desmond Ridder is also a wild card as we're talking about wild card quarterbacks because, we've seen him have big games. We've seen him have absolutely miserable games. And, I do feel like this can kind of go either way. But, yeah, I mean, in theory, you look at Atlanta's skill guys and say they should get open against this Tampa Bay defense, which, like you said, has struggled week to week to establish a little bit of consistency and was pretty poor last week. So Atlanta should have the advantage on offense, and Atlanta's defense has just been flat out better than Tampa Bay's. So you'd think they'd win in those regards, but I just don't know if it's still a unconvincing win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to feel like you never know with these two quarterbacks, but to feel like Tampa Bay does have the advantage there as of right now. I'm not saying Baker Mayfield is a superstar, but he's played well this season, and Ritter's been kind of inconsistent. That could be a way that Tampa Bay could win this one.
Yeah, there's this Tampa offense, like you said. I mean, the biggest thing is that they're just, Baker is just more than willing to get Mike Evans involved as much as possible.
Yeah, which is the right strategy. I think against Carolina, it really was just throw it up to Mike Evans every time.
Yeah, and I don't think it's been quite the quite a good Godwin season. At least it hasn't seemed like overall. But as long as Mike Evans is there, he can make some things happen, and he can flip this game in a hurry.
Yeah, and again, we talk about the Zion McCollum with Tampa Bay, but knowing Atlanta, they're just gonna be throwing over the middle every time to Keith Smith.
Yeah,
I think a big Keith Smith game coming up.
At this point, anybody could have a big game for Atlanta except for Drake London and Kyle Pitts. That's basically my opinion.
I think so. Let's move on. Kyle does not want to talk about this game. Kyle's ready to get go somewhere else. I am thrilled with the way this broke down. I don't have to pick either of these two stupid games. I'm giving you Jaguars Browns. I mentioned Browns are favored here. Also, I should mention, just in the spirit of fairness, it has been today. Just a few minutes ago, Ian Rappaport tweeted out CJ Beathard was limited in practice today with his non-throwing shoulder injury, so he's also banged up here for Jacksonville. Although he's expected to push through it. Where are you going here, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Browns because of all this. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just can't. I can't rely on it. I just can't. Beathard actually came in and handled the job, I thought, pretty well, given the circumstances. It wasn't obviously perfect, but he seemed at least a little more reliable, but I mean, if he's not 100%, I'm not relying on that. So, give me the Browns. I don't know who's playing quarterback. There could be a chance that someone plays and it's a, if it is, then I just, kind of eat this pick. So, I like the Browns.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild. It's a weird situation. You are picking Joe Flacco to win a football game here. It's not quite January yet, so he hasn't quite reached his where he starts to play elite football. Joe Flacco versus CJ Beathard in a game with serious playoff implications. Who would have thought?
Nobody, literally nobody. Something disasterful had to happen for that to work out, and it literally did. I think the biggest thing that's disappointing in this is it really seemed like, as of late, I know Calvin Ridley was kind of, he wasn't that impactful in the Monday night game, but it really seemed like Jacksonville had started to figure out their pass offense. Mm-hmm. And the last 3 weeks or so, they were really in a groove. And, kind of like you've been saying all year that, like, I think Lawrence has been good, but his numbers haven't been, like, awesome. So it's kind of gone under the radar. Well, the last few weeks, his numbers were awesome, and he was really good. So, that's probably the most frustrating thing is it seemed like this team finally got over that hump. And then now all of a sudden we're back to square one because we got CJ Beathard playing quarterback this week.
Yeah. It's not ideal. Although again, I mean, we have the flip side, I guess. I don't know. Is it for Cleveland, or they just kind of like, we've been doing this all season. Like this is not new for us, having some quarterback we just met, this a couple weeks ago trying to play for us.
I mean, probably, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that could certainly be a factor, but they've managed to overcome it on some weeks as defense has made some big splash plays, and then I think the other side of it is Karen mentions here is the Jaguars defense, did not look good last week, and this is a coverage unit I think we both pretty value, and they were kind of torn up in that game. And how does that group respond? I think overall is going to be a big factor in this game.
I'm not banking on the Browns to be able to tear apart this Jaguars secondary. I know that happened last week. I think that I like Amari Cooper, but it really is Amari Cooper, and the Browns don't have a lot going on. Like, I think the thing about the Browns is we all talk about the quarterback play, but like the rest of their offense also isn't great, right? Like it's also a bad offense on top of it. It's not saying it's the Jets, but like it's a bad offense across the board.
Yeah, and I mean they've had injuries that factored into that too. Multiple offensive linemen have gone down, and the Nick Chubb obviously is a big part of that. So there are multiple things that factor into it. But yeah, I mean it still feels like a team that's a couple pieces away as far as offensively goes, even beyond quarterback and the Deshaun Watson factor.
There's a point when Joe Flacco almost hit Elijah Moore on a deep pass last week, and the Jets fans would have just lost their minds if that happened.
While their current quarterback doesn't even want to play anymore.
It's incredible stuff. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. It should be an interesting. I don't know. It'll be a game. An important game.
That's the thing. Like these last two games, they're weirdly really important down the stretch of the year. So they're the injuries are mounting this football season. I got to say, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, it's tough. Luckily, at least Lawrence should come back. Let's move on. Kyle, give me a game.
Yeah, this would have been the marquee game of maybe the season, preseason. But now it's, we don't know what to think of this game. Bills at Chiefs.
Bills at Chiefs. Kyle, you ready for a hot take?
Yes.
I'm locking up the Bills. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
this
Okay.
is feels like this is right time, right? Bills are, I feel like, playing much better football as of late. The Chiefs are on a downswing. And I could just pick them, but that's not as fun. Let me lock them up.
I like the boldness. Kansas City coming off tough loss in their last, what is it? 2 losses in a row. Oh no, 2 of their last 3 games. But yeah, tough loss to the Packers this past league. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fascinating one. And, you got Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen kind of with their backs against the wall at the moment. I think Chiefs are still fine, obviously, for the division. They're going to win that division. It doesn't matter. So maybe not as much against the wall for Patrick Mahomes, but it does feel like that the Chiefs are in a little bit of a state of crisis right now. And the Bills are definitely backs against the wall. They have to start winning games right now. And I'm kind of with you. I thought Josh Allen was really, really good his last game against Philadelphia. I
Mm-hmm.
think that the Bills can move the ball in this Chiefs defense. And I don't know if, I think the Bills defense itself has been inconsistent. And there is still Patrick Mahomes, which is definitely something to worry about. But I just don't know how much I could trust them to get open.
Yeah. For some reason, this isn't the Monday night game. There's 2 Monday night games, and this isn't either of them. I don't know what happened there. I guess only so many primetime games, but feels like a missed opportunity here with all the bad Monday night and Sunday night games we've had. But I mean,
Wanted Nance and Romo on this.
yeah, probably. Has there been a Chiefs game that they haven't called?
It feels like they do all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild, but I really do feel like this is an opportunity for Buffalo. I think that I think that this is the game that I could see the Bills being able to move the ball against Kansas City. I know Kansas City's defense has played very well, but I do think with Josh Allen's rushing ability, it could force the Chiefs into zone coverage, which they're just not. They historically have not been as good at that as they are at man.
Yeah, I mean, I see the logic to it, and Josh Allen, his escapability, I think, adds a huge factor to it. It's a long time to cover, and the Chiefs' defense, which I still think is good, like you said, has shown some chinks in the armor the last couple of weeks. So there could be an opportunity here, and if the Bills can play offense like they did their last game, they can beat absolutely anybody. So I do think this can be sort of a toss-up.
Yeah, I think the flip side is like, what have the when's the last time the Chiefs have had one of those classic Chiefs games? Like, I guess the Chargers, which was like in October, like,
Yeah.
and even that they won by 14, like, which is a lot, but for the Chiefs, it's like this is not. I don't know. We all watched that game against the Packers, right? Like, this is not the Chiefs' offense of last year. It's just not.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, even the Raiders game that they ended up kind of winning in a blowout fashion, they were down 14-0. So, it's been a very unconvincing season. I'm with you. I do think this is a really tough game to pick. And, I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. I don't know what to think of either of these teams right now is the problem. And that's the shocking thing about both of these teams is like, these are 2 teams that we probably would have put 2 of the top 4 Super Bowl teams for the AFC. And there feels like there's more questions than answers about both of them.
I think preseason these were like 2 of the top 3, right? It was these 2 in Cincinnati, and then if you would have said,
well, we both had Miami above Buffalo.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about Miami. Yeah, you're right. But still, I mean, I think you tell a lot of people, hey, Joe Burrow's going to go down in the middle of a season with an injury, and the Bills are going to be 6-6. We would say, okay, Chiefs, easy Super Bowl favorites. Not quite that simple either.
Yeah. This will be a fun one, though. I agree. I think this is going to be fascinating. I think I like your pick. I like your pick. This is definitely bold, but I like it.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to, once I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I got to just do it. You can't, sometimes you got to have fun with it.
Yeah. Why not? Exactly.
All right. And whoever loses that game, the takes are going to be very spicy about the quarterback that loses, even if it's, 49-48. Kyle, no, I'm going to give you a game. I'm going to give you, oh man, I get to avoid all of the worst games. Broncos, Chargers. Where are you going?
Broncos. I cannot trust the Chargers at all. So
yeah,
no, I'm done.
I'm surprised the Chargers are favored in this game.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I know Justin Herbert's good, but like we just saw them score 6 points.
Yeah. against the elite Patriots defense.
It's a pretty good defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this Patriots defense, like I think they've given up like 26 points the last 3 weeks. I mean, they've been pretty lights out the last 3 weeks, honestly. But they're 0-3 in that stretch because they've scored 13 points.
Okay, Broncos Chargers.
Broncos.
Right,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I don't know what else to say. I can't trust the Chargers team. I don't trust their defense. I don't trust them to get stops. I know they did last week, but the Patriots stink at everything. I don't trust them to get stops. I think Courtland Sutton can have a field day against this defense. I think most receivers can have a field day against this defense, as long as he can get any semblance of separation. I don't trust the receivers to get open. I don't trust the receivers to catch the ball when they are open. And yeah, I don't trust their coaching staff to make good decisions. So Broncos, I almost want to lock this one up because I just need the Broncos to win, and I think they should win.
Yeah, why aren't you locking it up?
I don't know, actually. I don't even know what I have set for my lock. Actually, no, I know what I'm locking up. I'm fine.
Are you worried about Quentin Johnston having a great game?
No, I think I'm good. He could have a few catches, but another one. Do you trust him to make the big catch when it matters most? No, I do not.
Yeah, well, I don't think that you'll get too much pushback on that one. Broncos, you want to make the playoffs, gotta really sweep the Chargers. They played them twice in the next month here. I think that you're right. We need the Broncos offense to play better. I mean, that's the other aspect. It's like neither one of these offenses have played particularly great these past couple of weeks. I mean, Herbert last week really, but like I didn't think the offense was great last week. I guess Broncos offense did all right against Cleveland, but I still don't think it's still not great.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and I don't think Russ was really the last pick. I don't really say like anything to, but I don't think he was that great last week for sure. And maybe that Texans defense is just good. I don't know. The team continues to blow my mind. But yeah, I just I think it's a pretty good team. I don't think it's a great team, but I just think there are more reliable pieces, and I think Sean Payton has kind of put them in positions to succeed because he's not forcing this offense to do a whole lot. There's not a lot of pushing the ball downfield and a lot of taking a lot of chances.
Yeah, the Broncos also kind of need to do make the playoffs this year because next year they're currently set to be over $40 million over the cap. They have the worst cap situation in football.
Yeah, that's not ideal, especially for a team that I don't know. Would you rank it as a top 10 team, top 15 team?
Probably top 15. I think they feel like a playoff team. I'll say top 15.
Yeah, maybe. They're close. Closer to 15 than 10.
Yeah, probably. Let's move on. Why don't we don't spend forever on that? Can see I'm pretty sure all of the people clicked off. We're at 0 viewers now, so let's gain some back. Kyle, give me a game.
This one will get everyone clicking in. Vikings at Raiders.
Oh, okay. I did not think that's where you were going when you set it up that way. Yes, everyone here to talk about the Vikings Raiders. I guess I'm picking the Vikings. Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a weird situation. I'm not going to be like you and pick all underdogs so far. I don't know. Raiders defense has played all right. Vikings don't even know who their quarterback is going to be, although I think it's going to be Dobbs. I think they said they're leaning towards Dobbs. Is Jefferson finally going to be back? I don't know. That would be nice. Also, the Vikings defense, I think if Aiden O'Connell's out there, I'm worried for Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, we've talked a lot. By the way, I've only picked one underdog today. Did you get my picks right?
No, you picked the Bengals.
No, I picked the Colts.
Oh, I thought you picked. I wrote.
I picked the Colts and Browns.
Oh, that's. Wait. So you picked the. Oh, yeah. What am I saying? Okay. I think I had a couple. I don't. Yeah. Okay. My bad. Never mind.
It's all good. Anyway, Vikings Raiders. What were we saying? Oh yeah. So we talked a lot about this Brian Flores defense, what he's been able to do with this team. It's been a lot of blitz heavy schemes, basically all blitz heavy schemes. It seems like at times. He loves to blitz. That's basically it in a nutshell. And rookie quarterback is usually a disaster for that. So I don't know what Aiden O'Connell's numbers are like against the blitz, but he better be looking for Devontae Adams quick against this team.
Luke Brown says Jackson rigging things behind the scenes. In fairness, my notes were almost right. I only have one game wrong. But yeah, that would be a weird way to rig things, though, is to just before the game starts, rig it. That after the game would be the right time to rig it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And also, Kyle takes notes for this too. It's not like this is this. We record it. It's public. Everyone can know what the thing is. But yeah, I'm just stupid. Please, don't. I'm not smart enough to pull off a conspiracy. Also like how the chat wasn't saying anything until we get to the Raiders. Now there's just like 7 Raiders comments. Because of course that happened. Yeah, I don't know. There's potential here. I don't know if I can trust. Man, every game it's like, well, I can't trust either quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. We have gone through how many games now, and how many starting caliber quarterbacks have we mentioned in these games so far? Obviously, Bills and Chiefs.
Well, some people would not say that about Allen.
Oh God, Bills and Chiefs. I guess we could talk about and Justin Herbert. That's basically it. I guess Russell Wilson's a starting caliber quarterback. But so basically, 4 quarterbacks in our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games we've picked now, we would consider starting caliber quarterbacks. That's brutal.
I think I would throw Baker in there as starting caliber.
This year, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Vikings Raiders. We're trying to avoid talking about this game. Kyle, you're right. Adams is the way to victory, right? Get the ball to Adams a lot. That's how the Raiders can win.
Yeah, I mean, when the Raiders have looked good, it's by getting the ball out quickly to Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. When the Raiders look bad, those guys don't get the ball as often. Usually, cue Arthur Smith here. Getting your good players the football usually leads to more victories. This could be this is the strategy that the Raiders have to go with, and it's kind of how you beat these blitz heavy packages with good receivers.
Yeah, so should be interesting to see what these two teams do. Kyle, will you be glued to the screen watching this game?
Oh, this is definitely going up on one of the quad box setup for the YouTube TV, without a doubt.
I think so. Let's move on. Why don't we? Let's go to okay. Well, this will actually get people back. Eagles Cowboys, the game we're all ready to see. The Cowboys not just favored, 3.5-point favored. Kyle, where are you going?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fascinating game. You had the Eagles, who beat the Cowboys earlier in the season. They are 10-2 on the year. They have not lost a lot of games in the past couple seasons. They've been one of the best teams in football. They're the reigning Super Bowl runners-up. They have all this other stuff. But I think the Cowboys were just as likely to win that game the first time they played. I think the Cowboys currently, doesn't mean in the future, doesn't mean I'm picking them over the other, are playing better football. And I think the Cowboys currently are the second best team in the NFL. So give me the Cowboys at home.
Oh, are you going to lock it up?
Not going to lock it up, but I do feel confident about this game. I do think the Cowboys are playing better football. I think they're going to be able to throw on the Eagles, and I think they're going to have success that way. So give me the boys.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you lock it up -2.5 if you want.
I don't want to lock it up. Lock it up.
All right. Still too risky. Doesn't have the guts to lock it up.
Yeah, I just, I still feel good about this pick, though. I think that they're a better team right now.
Interesting. So why do you feel like what do you think will happen why do you think it'll go differently than last time?
I mean, it came down to, they were down at the 10-yard line in that last game, right? Like,
sure, but they ended up losing.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just as easily won. I mean, I know it's easy to say that, but it's like there was 10 yards separating them for winning and losing that game. Like, they could easily have that sort of success and get that ball over the goal line. I think that their downfield passing has progressively gotten better. And even then, like, you look at their last game that they played, Dak Prescott had 8.5 yards per pass. He had 3 touchdowns. He threw for 374 yards. I think he can have similar success in this game. I think that he is currently throwing the ball better than almost any quarterback in the league right now. And he has, fantastic weapons. He has a good scheme right now. All those play a factor in it compared to some of the other quarterbacks. But I think he's simply just playing better football too.
It was a weird game last time they played because, like, the Cowboys had, 70 total plays to the Eagles 59. Like, I felt, like Prescott threw the ball almost twice as much as Hurts did in that one. And that's kind of just how these two teams operate. Cowboys run defense, that's kind of been a story we haven't talked about. It played very well the first time they played. So they're going to force Hurts to throw the football, which could create some, I don't know, another Deron Bland pick six, perhaps. That could be something to keep your eye out for. The Eagles did not turn the ball over the first time they played. And I think if they do, and if the Cowboys win the turnover battle, that could flip the game and the Cowboys could win. I don't know. I think I would still lean towards Philadelphia. I don't know why. Maybe it's just I'm not willing to admit what's right in front of me, because I get it. Like, I do think some of the Eagles' underlying numbers aren't as impressive as the Cowboys. I get it. But I just think that I don't know. I still feel like Philadelphia can, at the end of the day, take care of the football. They can play mostly good defense and, maybe double team CeeDee Lamb in this one.
Yeah. I understand all the reasons for picking Philadelphia. I mean, they've barely lost over the last few weeks or last few years. So, I mean, obviously they're really, really good at it, but like, I don't know, when it just comes to the Dallas Cowboys right now and what we're looking at, like you said, the run defense has improved a lot. They were good against Philadelphia. They're now top 10 in run defense, along with their pass defense, which has historically been, really good these past couple seasons. So when they're going to cover well, they're going to rush the passer well because they have good pass rushers. They're going to defend the run better this season. They're going to throw the ball well. They're going to throw the ball downfield accurately. They have good receivers and they block well. Like, what is the weakness of this team? That we're waiting for the impending doom of a Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott combination? That's basically what we're waiting for.
I still think I agree that they're a very, very loaded team. I still think that there is and again, maybe this is just me being the last person to come around. I'm still, okay, is Dak Prescott legitimately one of the best quarterbacks in football now? Has that happened? Or is this just kind of bend away that it's worked this season? I still do wonder about these, the secondary receivers. I think that's still a fair question, even though it has been good so far this year. Haven't had the toughest schedule. Although even when they played good teams, other guys have been able to step up. But I still think that's a fair question. And if you double team CeeDee Lamb, can the rest of the guys get open and move the ball enough to win here?
Yeah. I mean, it's fair to question it until we see it in like the biggest games, right? But I think like Brandon Cooks did start really slow to this year, but I think this secondary receiver group has checked all the boxes. Like, we questioned the Dalton Schultz situation in the offseason. Jake Ferguson's actually been a really good tight end too. So, I think you look through the roster and, I just, maybe outside of receiver, I just don't know what Philadelphia is better at right now.
Well, I guess here's the question: Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts? I'm not saying this season, but in general, who do you think is better?
In general, I'd go Jalen. I think, in general, I go Jalen, but I think Dak Prescott has played much better the last few weeks.
Yeah. I think I agree. And I guess the other, I agree. I think Dallas is better across the board, but I also think that quarterback and receiver I value those really highly.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. And that's one of those things. If Dak's on this heater, like, I think that they can compete with anybody and beat anybody. And that's what he's on right now. So it's kind of riding the hot hand. As far as like Eagles situation goes, like you said, they don't turn the ball over. They don't typically make a lot of mistakes. Jalen has made some mistakes, I think, this season as far as throwing the football. And I think that's one of the things I just haven't loved about this team at times. So that's something to watch. Lane Johnson is back, so obviously that's going to play a big factor to the Eagles' offensive line. So there are still reasons to like the Eagles. Like, I feel like I'm too negative on the Eagles right now, but I just think the numbers are showing that Dallas is better right now. And I reserve every right to change that before the end of the season.
You totally could be right. It's not a bad take. Again, Cowboys are favored by over a field goal right now, so it's at home, but still. Eagles have more to lose than the Cowboys have to gain. Eagles would still lead the division with a loss, but San Francisco could jump them with a victory here. So with a Cowboys victory, and it gives Dallas an outside shot at the 1 seed. Although if you don't get the 1 seed, do you want the 5 seed? Would you rather the 5 seed than a 2 seed?
No doubt.
Yeah, we'll
I
get
would much rather travel to whatever NFC South team wins the division than play Green Bay right now.
The only thing I'm thinking about is like if you're playing Detroit round 2, would you rather have to play them at home or on the road? Maybe that's a big enough a difference, but it's probably worth the extra bye week in the wild card round.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage. I just realized that because the 5 seed is probably going to play. Do they reseed after each playoff game?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there is a chance that Detroit loses their playoff game, and then you got to play San Francisco and then Philadelphia if you're Dallas, right? But there is also the chance that you get the NFC South team and the Lions. Like that's a huge advantage.
Yeah. I completely agree. Although you wouldn't play, I don't think
you'd get the NFC
Francisco.
South team than the Eagles. I guess I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to see how this is going to play out. How awesome would it be if these 3 teams are 10-3 though? Like that's just a lot of fun.
It is. I think we're all rooting for the Cowboys just for the drama.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this game.
All right, let's move on. Kyle, give me a game.
This game was close last time. Came down to the final seconds. Took a heroic comeback from one Jared Goff. Let's go Lions at Bears.
Wow, I'm surprised this isn't your lock a little bit. I'm picking the Lions. I don't know. I know how it went last time. The Lions, once they started getting things going, were able to score seemingly at will with Chicago. I think that was a weird game. I don't think it's going to happen again. Goff had that terrible game. Goff's going to play normal. The Lions are going to win by 20.
There's a very real chance of that. The Bears are the most inconsistently bad football team, I think, in the league. There are times where you can watch them and think, hey, this isn't like the worst situation. And then there's times where they just look awful. So which one is it going to be? And that Lions game is a perfect example of that. There was times where it looked pretty good. And there was also times where, Detroit's staging this comeback and it's like, this team cannot do anything to stop this.
Yeah. The other aspect of it is the Lions turned the ball over 4 times and still scored 31 in that game.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. So,
yeah. I mean, that's just, I get it. I get why it's close and all of that because there was, it's not Chicago didn't have their own screw ups in that game as well. That should be mentioned. But I just think that the Lions are pretty clearly the better team. I still have concerns about their defense. I don't think it's the worst defense in football or anything like that, the Lions, but I still have just concerns. But again, as long as Goff doesn't some of the throws he was throwing were just like directly to the other team. Like he lost his mind. It wasn't like the Bears were just making good plays. It was like he like forgot how to throw a football for like a half of football.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty poor game. And it was weird because we just gotten done praising him as like the next best thing. And, obviously it didn't hold on for that long, but I think he should play better this game. I agree with you, but there is, one of those weird things when it comes to Justin Fields is like, there is the opportunity for him to kind of just go nuts. And, this defense has shown that it can give up points too.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. That's the hope, right? The Fields thing, and then Fields shows that don't draft the quarterback number 1. Give him another year.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of throws behind the line of scrimmage and a lot of hopeful Bears receivers to get yards after the catch, and that's probably how they try and win this game.
Yeah, I don't know. Simply put, the Bears got, they won the turnover battle by 3 last time and still didn't win. I don't know what they have to do this time to win.
Win the turnover battle by 5.
I guess so. I suppose so. We'll see if that's maybe what happens. Let's move on. I'm going to give you Texans Jets. Is this your lock?
Not yet.
Oh,
but I'm getting closer. I'm taking the Texans. Weird stuff going out of Jets camp about who's playing quarterback, what's happening here. Seems like a lot of that's been nipped in the bud. It's going to be Zach Wilson. I thought this defense played one of the best defensive performances last week. Like, honestly, I thought they were really good last week. And obviously, that smorgasbord of Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian at quarterback did not help the situation. But I thought they were really good. So I do like the Texans in this game. I do think it's a tough matchup because this defense is awesome. I want to see this offense without Tank Dell too. Like, I know Nico Collins is still awesome, but there were a few moments that I felt like they could have put that game away. last week, and they didn't. So I just want to see it again. I'm not like panicking. I just want to see it again. So that's why I'm not locking it.
Yeah, well, here's why I gave you the game is really just because of we've seen good quarterbacks look terrible against the Jets. CJ Stroud is still technically a rookie, believe it or not. He still is in his first year.
Never looks like it, but yeah.
Yeah. Could this be a game where maybe he puts the ball in harm's way, especially without Tank Dell? Again, Nico Collins has been great, and they've had other guys step up. Like Noah Brown's been a player for them this year, although Tank Dell means a lot for a team. He does. Losing him hurts them, but Dalton Schultz has been very good. They have guys. I do think that the Jets should be able to limit the Texans' offense. The question is just, can the Jets get anything going? Zach Wilson's back, and I don't know if there was a very funny report about him saying that he might not even come back if they ask him, but I don't know how true that was. But it's funny, so we all assume it's true. If he comes back, the offense for the Jets should look better, but I still don't think it's going to look great, especially against a very respectable defense in Houston.
Yeah, and we've seen this Jets offense, no matter who is the quarterback, kind of be Garrett Wilson or bust. And we were kind of hoping for this, or not we, but like the Jets hopefuls were hoping for this Breece Hall, Cook running back tandem to kind of help, the passing game that's kind of lacking some top end pass catch options outside of Wilson, and that hasn't worked out. The offensive line hasn't been good. So yeah, I mean, it's a very poor offense. It's a poorly constructed offense, and not to mention they're not getting good quarterback play. So it's tough. It's tough. I do think Zach Wilson's better than what they put out the last couple of weeks, so that should help a little bit. I just don't know if it's enough to keep up with the team that I think should make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Texans they feel pretty good there. When I did my ESPN playoff predictions thing, I had them going 5-0, and even if they went 3-2, they would still make the playoffs. So I feel like they're pretty safe in there. It stinks the Jets couldn't have gotten a couple more wins, so we could have gotten Aaron Rodgers at the end of the year.
Playing on one leg. It would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to see him rush back from injury for this, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
You still could, maybe. I don't know. You want to see what the team, how he looks with the offense, right?
That feels foolish.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Unfortunately, for entertainment purposes, probably not. Kyle, give me a game.
Are we picking this game? Are we allowed to pick Patriots and Steelers, or are we boycotting it completely? Is it not on the board?
We could take it off the board. Yeah, we could. Let's take it off the board.
Okay, because that was my next game.
Let's talk about it real quick. We'll do I'll give you 60 seconds to talk about your team.
This team stinks. Ramondre Stevenson and Demario Douglas have been consistently the best two offensive players. They're both out. That is a problem. Could be a big Ezekiel Elliott game because that's probably the only thing that they have reliable. I don't really know where the Patriots are going to find offense in this game. Devontae Parker is basically their go-to pass-catching option now, and that's not a great spot to be in. And so, yeah, I think that the Patriots offense is going to struggle. I think the Pittsburgh offense is going to struggle. And turnovers are probably going to be the factor, and I think the Patriots are going to turn the ball over more. So
probably TJ Watt over under half a fumble.
I mean, he might get 5 sacks. Like even like Michael Onyenwu was bad last week, and like he's been like one of the 3 guys that have been reliable. It felt like for this team, and Khalil Mack eat him alive. I can't imagine what this Pittsburgh duo is going to do to him.
Yeah, Mitchell Trubisky and the Steelers projected to win by 6. I think I would take the Steelers -6 in that. Let's move on. Kyle, now actually give me a game.
All right, let's do Panthers at Saints.
Okay, Panthers at Saints. I'm so curious as to what your lock is going to be.
Actually, wait, can I change that? Did I do it too late?
No, you're good.
Let's do Rams at Ravens. This is
Rams Ravens. Yeah, this one was. I actually had Panthers Saints next on my board, and then Rams Ravens just after. So we're kind of on the same page. I get it. The Rams are, I think, a good team. They are 6-6. It's a game where it's kind of a scheduled loss, right? You go into this not expecting to win, but if you can pull it off and you can get this victory, I think the Rams they feel like they're in a great spot for a playoff spot. And for the Ravens, they're in a situation where, they have a great shot at the 1 seed. They really do. So if they can, they're going to get there. They have to win this one.
Yeah, I would even go as far to say they are the favorites for the 1 seed. So they should win this game. It feels like they're finally like getting healthy, which is the scary part because they haven't really been healthy a lot of the season or as healthy as possible. Obviously, still no Mark Andrews. He's out for the year. J.K. Dobbins out for the year. But I do like what this Ravens team has. And, for all the things we talked about, how good this Rams team is offensively and how nice these pieces are, this is like the one team this offense probably doesn't want to play because they can actually cover the Rams. And
Mhm.
I just don't know how the Rams move the ball consistently enough against this defense and keep up with this team.
Yeah, I remember when the Rams won the Super Bowl, there was a game where Stafford had a bad day against the Ravens. So, the scheme can give them trouble, can get turnovers. I do think that defensively they match up very well. I agree with you. I don't know. I do disagree with the Ravens being the favorites to get the 1 seed just because they have a 3-week stretch where they play the Jaguars, Niners, and Dolphins, and they might have to go 3-0 to get the 1 seed if they do, through that. So I think that's going to be tough. I
Yeah,
could see them
maybe.
going 2-1, but that might not be enough.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what it looks like down the stretch. Obviously, the big thing would be beating Miami in that 2-1 stretch. Like
Yeah.
that, if they lose to San Francisco and beat Miami and Jacksonville, I think they might get it.
I think the Chiefs might end up there. Then I think it depends. Well, it depends on
Well,
if
if your pick works out this week,
right. It's but that's still there's a lot of moving parts. I feel like here. I don't know. It's possible, but I don't know. It's weird because when I did my predictions, I picked the Chiefs, but now when I did this, I picked the Bills and locked them up. So clearly, I'm not too confident in that. If the Chiefs lose and the Ravens win, then yeah, it's going to come down to the Dolphins Ravens game probably.
yeah, I would say so. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like down the stretch. But yeah, I just think, the Rams have got to find a way to continue to be, prolific on offense. And we just haven't seen anybody be prolific against this Ravens defense. And if it comes down to a defensive, kind of rock fight, I'm taking the Ravens over almost any team, and especially the Rams.
Yeah, I think it's just a tough matchup. I don't know. Any final thoughts on this one?
Uh, no, this should be a fun game. I don't know. Even if it's not competitive, I think it's going to be a fun game.
Also, Kieran saying Jackson suddenly becoming very anti-Ravens recently. I think the Ravens might be favorites to win the AFC. I just think that they have a tough schedule.
Yeah, I mean, they do.
I mean, I probably would take them over everyone. I think, yeah, I'll say, I don't know, 2012 Super Bowl rematch, Ravens 49ers. That feels right now.
Yeah, I think I'd pick it right now too.
And then can we turn the lights off? We have to like at least like ceremoniously turn the lights off at a certain point during that Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh and Connor Stallions have to stand on the 49ers sideline.
Yeah. No,
I know Connor Stallions wasn't work there, but still, he can have his binoculars too.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm getting all what you're saying, but I'm glad that we're all having fun here. Let's move on. I'm gonna give you a game, Kyle. I'll give you Panthers Saints. Is this what you're locking up?
No.
Oh,
Still waiting on it.
okay.
But yeah, give me the Saints. They looked better last week, and they're better than the Panthers. So yeah, I feel like the Saints should win this, and if they don't win this, you could just fire Dennis Allen on the tarmac or wherever deemed appropriate in the tunnel, anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably do that now, right?
I mean, they probably could, but at least give him a chance to finish the season. He has to win this game, though. Like, I don't see a scenario where he comes back if they lose this game
I think at this point they're just going to go with it.
into next year.
Yeah,
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, if you're at this point, like, what's the? I guess maybe you're right. I don't know. I feel like I don't think a coach that's still technically in the playoff hunt is going to get fired at this point. I think they're going to say, well, let's just see if maybe it can work out. I agree though. They have to win this game. The Saints defense should be able to completely shut down this Panthers offense. It was a competitive game the last time they played. The Saints won by 3. Bryce Young and the Panthers had a chance to win that one. That was not a great Derek Carr game. That was when we were doing the whole, wow, Derek Carr not really looking right the start of the year. What's going on here? Not realizing that that's just Derek Carr now. I don't know. It's possible, I suppose. Like, there is potential. I remember Bryce Young had like a big rush that kept the Panthers in it, but then they still weren't able to pull it off. But I don't know. It was a fun game last time. Could be a surprisingly competitive game.
Yeah, maybe Bryce Young gets a little bit going here. Obviously, the Panthers have gone through a lot of changes the last couple of weeks, so we'll see how it works out. But yeah, I don't know. This Panthers team looks sort of lifeless, and I'm hoping that they win 2 games. So
Right.
I'll be rooting for them this week.
Is it 2 or isn't there a chance with the strength of schedule it could turn into 1?
It could potentially, but there still needs to be some strength of schedule, movement. I don't know if there's going to be enough of that.
Okay. Yeah. What would have to happen? The NFC South would have to start playing much better football.
Yeah, I think one of the teams would basically have to like win out or something like that. I don't know. I haven't done the full like math on it.
Okay. Gotcha. You're just waiting. Yeah. Sorry, my division's been so bad, Kyle, that your team can't get the first overall pick.
I know. You're subjecting Caleb Williams to Chicago because of this. How dare you?
Yeah. At least it's not like going to our division though, so at least it's it's fine.
Yeah. Not for Caleb Williams, but for everybody else, I guess.
Yeah. The Saints are, I don't know. This is the game though that for them they feel like they have to win by 10, right?
It'd be nice to see them like kick a little ass for a change. They've done it a couple times this season, but obviously this is as bad as it gets as far as opponent goes. And they finally got the red zone offense going a little bit last week. Maybe that plays a factor. They should, like you said, they have better players. Basically, I would take their entire defense over the Panthers' entire offense. Basically, I don't know one Panthers player I would take in a matchup against the Saints defensive player. Like
one Panthers offensive player that you would take over. Wait, say that again.
In as far as like if you just did one-on-one matchups, what Panthers offensive player would you take against the Saints defensive player?
Ooh, interesting. Let me think about this. Is there a linebacker that maybe you could take like Miles Sanders over?
I'm not taking Miles Sanders over anybody.
Okay.
Isn't it Chuba Hubbard's the starter?
Yeah, probably. Doesn't matter. Let's see. I don't know. Taylor Motton. There's probably an edge rusher I'd take Taylor Motton over.
Is there an edge rusher on the Saints you would take Taylor Motton over?
Let's see. Let me pull up the Saints depth chart here and think about this. Obviously, I know there's Cam Jordan. I'm not going to go with him. What about? Yeah, probably. I don't know. No, the Saints starting edge rushers are pretty good. I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough. Adam Thielen's cooled off the last couple of weeks too.
Yeah, someone brought up Adam Thielen, but I don't know if I'm taking him over whoever the Saints put on him.
I will say, it's not all doom and gloom. That Mingo actually looks pretty nice. Like he's had some moments. Like I don't think he's a stiff. He's gonna play. So I guess that's a positive.
If you say so.
Yeah, I think he's actually had some moments. I think he's been nice.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen much from him, but
you're not locked in on the Panthers right now?
I paid attention to a lot of the Panthers. I haven't been as impressed with Jonathan Mingo.
Wow. I don't know. I think he's got a chance.
I just looked it up. Our good friends at Pro Football Focus have him currently at 101st rated wide receiver out of 120 eligible wide receivers.
It's been the development. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay. Sure. All right.
He's gotten better as the season's gone along. It started horribly. I will say that.
Yes. We'll see. You're right. He's still young. A lot of that's something the Panthers fans are saying a lot of recently. He's still young.
Yeah. We'll see.
Kyle, give me a game.
Where are we next? Seahawks at 49ers.
Okay. Seahawks, 49ers. An interesting game, I think. Not a bad pick because I do feel like Seattle's a good team. Listen, it was a disaster last time they played. The Niners are kind of killing everybody right now, so it's sort of like, they're going to be 10-point favorites over everybody. I didn't write the minus, but obviously they're favored, not 10-point underdogs. I don't know. What can the Seahawks do differently this time, I guess? I don't know, because they even got a pick six the last time they played, and they still got crushed. Like, I don't know. What do we do here, Kyle? I'm lost. Did they need to throw the ball downfield to DK Metcalf every play?
Well, it did. It looked pretty good last week, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably is the bias of like the such recent kind of shellacking, if you will. I will say like I don't know. They weren't a disaster defending the San Francisco passing game, so they need to have similar success like that this time around. And yeah, if they can get their offense to play a little bit more like it did last week rather than 2 weeks ago, or how it kind of been earlier in the season, yeah, I think that they can make this more interesting. I don't know if I'd ever pick them to win, but they can make it more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. I don't know. I'm not feeling great about this one, Kyle. I think the Niners are going to win.
I mean, obviously, yeah, I think they're going to win. That's probably how the Seattle keeps it close, though, is that they showed they could throw the ball a little bit more, and covered pretty well the last time they played. But I just, that still feels like a lot to go right for Seattle in a game that they're heavy underdogs. I agree.
Should it just not run the ball in this one? Like 0 rushes?
Do you know who the head coach of the Seahawks is?
You're right. Niners are going to cover.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You're picking win by 2 touchdowns.
Well, 11 points.
Yeah. I think let's go Seahawks lose by 10. Seahawks lose by 10. They get inside 10.5. I believe. I'm not dead yet, Seattle. Let's go. Lose by 10.
Listen, I like it's not an anti-Seattle take. It's look what the Niners are doing to everybody.
San Francisco's crushing it. I still feel good about that team. So yeah, I agree. But I think winning by 10 is a good win. So
I mean, hey, if Niners or Seahawks, you pull this one off, I mean, you're write your name in pen in the playoffs, list. You're in.
Yeah, I mean, this would be huge for them. Like they really need. They still got a tough game, I think, next week, but it definitely would. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. So interesting situation here, as you have not locked up any team yet. So I can choose which one I'm giving you to lock up. I think you wanted to lock up the Packers over the Giants, but I'm not going to just give you a game just because I think it's what you want or don't want. I'm going to focus on what I think would be the toughest lock, and I'll go Titans-Dolphins.
Yeah, I'll lock up the Dolphins. That's fine.
Yeah, it's not a terrible lock. It really isn't.
No, I think they can win by 2 scores. Will Levis has, been up and down at times throughout the season. I think, obviously, I don't think he was actually that bad last week, but, just didn't get the win. It was still up and down, though, I would say. Derrick Henry was the big reason why that game was so close. And yeah, Dolphins defense has played very well. They're still explosive on offense. We just saw Gardner Minshew go for 7.4 yards per attempt against this Tennessee defense and over 300 passing yards. And they hit multiple big plays to Alec Pierce in that game. They had a big game play to Kylan Granson, and Michael Pittman had over 100 yards. I think that Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and, insert Miami receiver 3 there should have more success.
Probably. I mean, obviously, what just happened last week is gonna, we're gonna pay attention to that. And Miami is the kind of team that, like, if you don't have a great defense, they can light you apart. And I don't know how well this, Titans secondary is going to be able to cover Miami. I do trust them to at least, I don't know, have 2 safeties deep most of the game, unlike Washington. So I think it could be a little better there. The question is, can Miami win by 2 scores? Because we know Miami is going to be heavily favored. And I think the one thing that could be concerning for you, Titans are going to run the ball a lot. They're going to try to bleed the clock. They're going to try to make this an 8-possession game. And so you have to win by 2 touchdowns that way.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but we have Derrick Henry questionable at this moment, and we have Jeffrey Simmons out too.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the Dolphins need to run the ball, and although Jeffrey Simmons obviously helps in the passing game a lot as well, but I don't think I don't know. The Dolphins are going to get rid of the football in 1 second every play anyway. That's not going to be an issue. I don't think that, Miami's going to still move the ball with or without Jeffrey Simmons, although obviously he's a great player. I think that it's the possessions thing. And, you said Derrick Henry's questionable, but even, whoever they have, they're going to run the ball a ton.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it.
And Miami's run defense hasn't been great this year. 6th worst in EPA.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm not too worried. I think that I think this defensive line can win this game, and I don't know.
Sounds like you're talking yourself into it. Think you're a little worse?
I'm perfectly fine with it. I did want the Packers. I was hoping it would give me that game, but you know, I think that they I think the Dolphins should just as easily win this game by 2 scores.
Vic Fangio doesn't love the blitz. We've talked about how Will Levis has looked solid when he's not blitzed and terrible when he's blitzed. Does Vic Fangio blitz him a lot? Probably, right?
Probably. And not to mention, guys have to get open against this Miami secondary now, which is a problem.
Yeah. No, the Titans are going to run the ball every play.
They're going to have to. And, you know, if they don't get first downs, it doesn't matter because you're not killing the clock that way.
Yeah, well, right. They need some long drives, so we'll see how it goes. I think I'm with you. I'm expecting the Dolphins to win by more than 2 touchdowns, but there's the potential here. I feel like there's more potential of this happening than the Packers only winning by 6 points or less against the Giants, which is the last game. I am picking the Packers to win, believe it or not, Kyle.
Yeah, the red hot New York Giants winning 2 in a row. One of the hottest teams in football. No. Yeah, I mean, this team looked pretty lifeless in their last game offensively. It's still Tommy DeVito there. I'm not too worried. I think that the Packers pass rush gets after him. I think that they've played a lot better the last few weeks. And Jordan Love has looked significantly better. So they should win this game.
Yeah, I mean, if the Packers lose this one after beating the Chiefs, I mean, that would just be, I don't know what we'd do with that. This feels like a great lock candidate, Kyle. I'm sorry that you didn't get a lock. Also, wait, these are the two, are these both, these are the last 2 games picked, 2 Monday night games. What are we doing here?
Looking forward to these 2 on Monday night, right? Combined spread of -20.
Unbelievable. How did this happen?
And yet the Patriots are the ones getting flexed of all teams. Like, unbelievable. We got to watch Tommy DeVito at home, but we can't flex the Chiefs here to Monday night. Like, ridiculous. Chiefs Bills.
This all-time bad primetime match. I mean, they got the Cowboys Eagles Sunday night. That's great. But the Monday and Thursday games of Patriots Steelers and then Packers Giants and Titans Dolphins. How are we scoring? We have this late in the season. We should just announce the Monday games later. The last 4 or 5 games of the year, the Monday game is just we decide it 2 weeks before.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but they don't do it that way. College football does it that way, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. Hopefully Jordan Love continues to play well. He's been exciting to watch.
Yeah, he's been very exciting to watch. I would say one of the more exciting quarterbacks in the league to watch. Not one of the best, more exciting though. So yeah, I mean, I think that he's looked good the last few weeks, and this should be a good performance for him. This is a good chance for him to kind of light it up too.
Yeah, great opportunity to get light up the stat sheet. On prime time. Great opportunities here.
Yeah, that's about all you look forward to this game, I think.
Yeah, Jordan Love's interesting. I don't know, whatever. Kyle, that's our show. Let them know we can find us on Twitter before we head out.
Yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitter. That is at Jackson Kruger. Make sure to follow me at by Kyle Grondin, and make sure to follow the account page that's at On the Sideline JK. That is at On the Sideline JK.
Of course, you have audio only podcasts. Anywhere you get your podcast, search On the Sideline podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, that should be available. Yeah. I don't know. I have nothing else to say. I missed the NBA in-season tournament. I didn't watch it.
Dude.
I know. I was going to, and then I don't know, but I just don't have the motivation.
It was good. It was really entertaining. Celtics Pacers was awesome. Lakers Suns was awesome. Enjoyed both.
Yeah, I think I kind of realized today when I was I think I just don't care. I thought I was going to care. I was going to get into it. I think I just don't. If the Magic were in it, I would care.
Your new team, the Orlando Magic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. They're competitive games. They had playoff-like atmospheres, and, there was a LeBron James dominant showing. There was a Tyrese Halliburton, the Star is Born kind of showing. It was a fun couple days, I think.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I don't know. I gotta get myself to watch it, but it's just there's, I don't know. I could watch it, but then it's I don't know. I have things to do, Kyle. I'm a busy guy.
Yeah, I get it. Look, there's a lot going on during the week, and then it's dedicating more time to watching TV. It's all right.
Yeah, I think I need to at least I think what I did was I looked at the score. I'm like, okay, this, I'll watch it if it's close. And I think I've been during the Knicks Bucks game, and that wasn't
That
that's
was
what
not
happened.
close.
Yeah, so that's what happened. But yeah, I need to pay more attention. Tomorrow, instead of the Patriots Steelers, keep an eye on the semifinal games.
Well, it's weird because the way they got the time slots, I think it's like 5 o'clock for the early game and then like 9 o'clock for the late game,
Mm-hmm.
at least for East Coast time. So like there's kind of a gap there where you can like watch basketball, tune into the football game, and then watch more basketball.
Yeah. I think that it's I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on it. Also, Kieran talking about my Lightning. It's not going well. Not going great.
No,
We
but
lost 8-1 the other day. It's I don't know. Nikita Kucherov's very good.
you have that going for you, which is nice.
Well, it's funny. The thing about all my teams getting good at the same time, like the unintended consequence I didn't realize is they're all kind of falling apart at the same time. Also,
Yeah, they all age very quickly.
yeah. So it's like I'm going like we're all the same thing of like, oh, like you still have the star, like there's that like used to be good team of like you still have like a few like superstars, but you still have like the talent you like built around them. Like that's kind of where all my teams are currently at.
Yeah, you still got the Rays.
Yeah, but they're always going to make the playoffs, and we're talking about we're going to trade Glass now. We're going to trade a Rosarena. It's just I don't know. I don't think we're going to be great next year.
At least
McClanahan's
you
out
walked
for the
up
year.
Wander Franco.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I'm still bummed out about that.
Yeah, that's definitely disappointing.
We can't all be Boston.
Bruins looking good. Hopefully we can keep it going.
Yes. Let's just again. Just
Yankees traded for Juan Soto, which
did
is
they officially trade it? I saw that it
not
was
official, but it seems like it's just about a done deal. So, how many outfielders do the Yankees need to win 85 games? Like,
I think adding Juan Soto will help them. I think that I'm in the camp. I think that will be a good move for them.
yeah, I mean, I am impressed by Brian Cashman. It only took him 15 years at New Yankee Stadium to realize that like lefties actually rake in his wiffle ball fence field. So, good on him to figure that out 15 years later instead of going the already lineup. So, it will be interesting until like I would say probably August, maybe July. When you got Juan Soto, you got Aaron Judge, who can't play center field full time, hit cleanup, and safely get out of dugouts. So that won't end well. You'll have Giancarlo Stanton hitting, sub 200 by July, so that won't work out. And then you'll have Juan Soto there. He'll have a high walk rate, though, just nobody else to hit him in.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know. I feel like I'm still not happy about the development. I do think in hindsight maybe they shouldn't have gone with Josh Donaldson over Bryce Harper.
Yeah. Well, not only that now, like DJ LeMahieu's supposed to be the third baseman, I guess, like full time, and like
I think he's played every position for them.
Yeah, I mean they just so they're gonna go trot out this lineup of Judge, Verdugo. Soto, and Verdugo in the outfield.
Yeah, I didn't ask you about that. How you feel about that?
I don't know. Like Verdugo's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. I don't, it's fine. I don't really know what direction the Red Sox are going in, but that's going to be. I don't know what to think of it yet. We'll see what happens. Maybe one of these pitchers works out or something like that, and we look good. But Red Sox got a long way to go.
Yeah, it's tough. We're I don't know. Interesting times here in the sports world.
Yeah, a lot going on. Winter meetings, baseball, basketball, hockey. West Ham has a big game against Tottenham tomorrow.
Oh, there we go.
Best team in London, the West Ham United. They've beaten just about every London team this year, so we're rolling. Let's keep it going.
Okay. Last comment before we get out of here. Where will Otani go? The Rays, right? Tampa Bay.
Braves? Oh, Rays.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be the Dodgers.
You don't think Toronto?
No, I say it's Dodgers or Braves.
I'm happy the Yankees aren't getting him.
Yeah,
he becomes so hateable so quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
I like rooting for Otani. I don't want to deal with him in pinstripes.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. I don't think he's going to go there. I guess Texas is still in the cards too. That would be why
that'd be
they
fun.
had Otani.
Uh-huh.
I guess the interesting one is this Yamamoto too.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm exposing myself as a casual. I don't know who that is.
He's this young phenom pitcher in Japan.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. He's getting like comparisons to like Pedro Martinez.
Interesting.
Naturally,
Okay, well,
.
Gotcha. So once the Rays get both of those two guys, then we're back.
Yeah. Did you
Trade
get a
for
new
Juan
influx
Soto.
of cash or something? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I think so. I think the owners decided now he's going to start spending
How much
all
of
that
your YouTube,
playoff revenue we got. Now we're good
yeah,
from all the great attendance.
how much of your YouTube ad revenue are you donating to the Tampa Bay Rays right now?
I don't know. I think the payroll between that and what I'm getting is probably pretty similar, Kyle.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean that as a self-deprecating joke to what I'm getting.
Yeah, fair enough. I get you. I'm with you.
No, I make far too much to make stupid videos on YouTube. Everything's good here. Kyle, any final thoughts?
No, let's get out of here. Seems like we covered everything.
Yeah, we covered everything. We did it. Another perfect show. Nothing left on the table. As always, we nailed it.
Yeah, this is the superstar show. You know, this is like this is the killer 1-2 combo.
Yeah, it's like how they're used to, like Cisco and Ebert for movies. It's like it's Jackson and Kyle for sports.
Yeah, you see the videos of you see the Shaq and Kobe videos too. That's us.
Right. Yeah, it's all the great duos. Everyone knows. This is the place to be. Everyone who made it to the end of the show, you know where to go.
Yeah. Make sure to tune in Sunday night and going forward, check out all Jackson's videos.
Thank you. Yeah, Kyle, if you don't shoot a dog next week, you're getting blocked. Okay, next week, Kyle he promises, it's a dog right here, and also promises that he will next week show the dog, or he will personally block everybody that follows him.
Yep, exactly. She's being really antsy today. I don't know what's going on, but
me?
Yeah.
No, just make a joke. Yeah. Great way to end it. Thank you, everybody. We do appreciate it. Till next time, have a good one.
Peace.